Sunday morning, everybody. Week 9, Mageddon. I'm hurt Mageddon. My shoulder, I'm a sissy Mageddon. Whatever it is, it's going to be a clusterfuck. Can't wait. As always, joined by my good buddy Adam of 4D Chess. How you doing today, Adam?
I'm doing well, man. I'm excited, but at the same time, man, I just looked again, and it reminded me to say this. We have 8 games at 1 o'clock, and we have 2 games at 4 o'clock.
Oh, no.
And there's only 10 for the day until you get into the Monday night game. So it's going to be a lot of some gross start sits today. And, Mike, I know we got a new guy in the building for the Start Sit Show, our boy Jay Rich, who you know so well. Jay Rich, we couldn't have you at a better time when there's going to be such gross questions coming in, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. We did the show on Friday, and it was our not so obvious starts, and it got gross real quick. 16s on by and good ones, especially at running back. All the good running backs on by this week. It's not good for us in fantasy land, but we got to make it work, right? We got Jonathan Taylor out, Deion Jackson is in, and we'll see. Maybe we'll talk some Dontrell Hilliard some more. I've been talking about him all week. Eric, are you on board with Dontrell Hilliard over there?
If I really have to. I mean, he has a pulse, so I guess that I have to start him. I have so much Tom Kennedy starting today, and I bet you like 75% of people don't even know who he is.
Dude, that's so awesome. I love to hear that.
This has been fantastic for me, too. Like, I thought it would be a very bad week figuring out who I'm going to start and sit, but actually most of my leagues have just come down to whoever the hell's playing. Whoever's active, you're in. You're up, buddy.
You're in, yep.
Well, just a reminder, if you want to get your questions bumped to the top, hit that super chat. We'll move you right up. But without further ado, let's dive right into it. We have so many people already in the building. You guys are incredible. Chris Wheezy's got one. Eno or Likely in PPR? Jay Rich, first appearance on the show. We'll start with you, man. Kick it off. Eno Benjamin or Isaiah Likely for you, PPR?
I think I'm going with Eno Benjamin. So obviously we are waiting, I believe, still on James Conner news, but the bigger thing is that the Saints are actually really good against the tight end. So even though Isaiah Likely seems like he's in a really good spot, I think I may still lean Eno Benjamin in this one.
All right, Eric, what says you, buddy?
Oh, yeah, this one's tough for me. I think I would just go Likely, even though Saints are good against tight ends. They really don't have anybody else to throw the ball to. So I think I'm just going to lean Likely. I like Eno against the Seahawks, but he let me down against them last time, even though he had that great matchup. He kind of screwed me, so I'm just going to go with Likely.
Adam.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to I'm with Jay Rich here. I'm going to go with Eno. Some of the things I think to keep in mind about with Likely is, one, so last week he kind of got vaulted into this role that we hadn't really seen him play. And this week with Andrews being out, I think they're going to have a lot more preparation for how he is utilized and all that. They're going to be able to see that. And then 2, with Bateman and Andrews being out and them knowing that, there's going to be a lot of focus on this kid too, right, in the passing game. So I think, I'm not saying he can't go off. I'm not saying he can't do it. But for me, before I put him in my lineup, I want to see that he can thrive in that role before I'm fading him for Eno Benjamin.
Man, speaking of preparation, I need preparation H if I got to start Eno Benjamin. I'm going Isaiah Likely. I'm with you, Eric. Let's just go ahead and fire him up. If he's going to smash, it's going to be now. Eno, I just have the concerns about what happens with James Conner if he comes back. So, yeah. Eno just disappoints me all the time. Ever since he decommitted from Iowa and went to Arizona State, I never forgive you.
Good choice on his part.
I knew there was some Iowa hate in there. There it is.
Dynasty Alex, thank you for tuning in, buddy. He says, good morning to everyone except Jamal Williams. I agree with you. Good morning to everyone but Jamal Williams. Dynasty Barry's got one. Bench one of these guys in half PPR, full tight end premium, Duvernay, Thielen, or Everett. Adam, help DB out here. Duvernay, Thielen, or Everett, bench one of these dudes.
I'm sitting Thielen here. I'm going to play Everett. They don't have a lot of pass-catching weapons healthy over in L.A. either. I think Everett's going to be put into a pretty prime role. And then, I'm playing Duvernay for the exact same reasons there. So I think by default for me, it's going to be that way. Got to remember, we have T.J. Hockenson now in Minnesota for Thielen as well, not to mention he hasn't been playing great.
All right. Eric, who are you sitting?
Yeah, I think I agree with Adam. I'm going to sit Adam Thielen, too.
Wow, we've got to this point. Jay Rich.
It's unanimous. It's got to be Thielen. They're already saying Hawkinson's going to play a lot of snaps. What does that mean? I don't know. But I saw his receiving line went up quite a bit already on the books, so they're probably projecting him to have a bit of a larger role. I think that means bad things for Thielen because Hawkinson and Thielen, I think, kind of operate in similar areas. You're just praying he scores a touchdown after that.
No, I'm with you guys, man. I'm going to sit Thielen just because the other two guys, are pretty much the only two guys on their team. So we don't have a lot of choices. They're going to get the football thrown at them. Thielen, on the other hand, has to compete with obvious Jefferson and now Hawkinson. And let's not forget Mr. Munt. Mr. Munt, one of my favorite turd tight ends. All DeAndre Swifts or questions will be ignored unless it's super chat. Okay. Alex is still riding that. He's still hurt. He's still hurt. Garrett's got one. Half PPR, need one. Khalil Herbert, CH, or roll the dice on Kenyon Drake. J. Rich, who you got here? Herbert, CH, or you rolling the dice on Kenyon Drake?
Khalil Herbert pretty easily for me. He's been basically splitting carries from Montgomery and thriving much better than he's been. Miami's defense has improved, but I don't think it'll be good enough to stop Herbert. CH, we'll see what his role looks like. I think they do pass the ball a lot. And Drake, I can't do it. Some weeks the Saints defense is good, some are bad. I think Khalil Herbert's the safest option, mostly rushing floor, but it's only half PPR, so you can live with it even against CH.
Eric?
Yep, I'm with Herbert as well. I kind of like Drake a little bit since it's just him and Justice Hill, really. But I think I'm still going to roll Herbert for everything J. Rich said.
Adam?
Yeah, Herbert pretty easily for me too. I'm definitely not rolling CEH out there. And I don't feel confident enough in Kenyon Drake to put him ahead of Khalil Herbert. I think they've already been splitting work, and Herbert's looked like the better back. I'd be interested to see, too, if there's a week coming up here where Herbert gets a little bit more work than Montgomery as well.
My Khalil Herbert hate knows no bounds. I'm starting Kenyon Drake for me. But I will go Khalil Herbert second. CH, I hate him more than Khalil Herbert.
As long as you don't say CH, right? That's up against the number one rushing defense. You don't want to do that.
Nope.
Ain't doing that. Jerry's got one here. Good morning. Need help bad in a win bad. Everett, Dubs, or Mooney need two. Adam, give Jerry two of these guys. Everett, Dubs, Mooney.
I'm gonna go with Everett, and I'm gonna go with Dubs here. The Lions defense has been so bad. Like, there's been a part where I don't want to play Dubs. Like, he's been not all that appealing, but I think versus Lions defense, I'm gonna roll with Dubs here.
Eric?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Everett and Dubs as well. I like Mooney. I could see him having a big play against Miami, but I think Dubs has been a little bit more consistent. At least last week he was. Maybe the Washington game he wasn't, but I'm going to go with maybe he got back on track last week, so I'm going to go with him.
J. Rich?
I think I'm actually going to go with Everett and Mooney. So Everett obviously is the volume play with no one there. The big thing with Dobbs that I'm concerned about is if he gets locked up in man coverage, right? So, they don't have a ton of options out there in Green Bay. And if they do decide to play man against them, I think the Dubs could get shut down pretty quickly. So that's the only fear there, right? We have seen them shut down receivers in the past, especially X receivers. I expect them to be, more fluid with Tanyan and some of the tight ends, but Dobbs will just be out there on an island. If he's locked up by a DB there, he could struggle. I think I just prefer Mooney, like Eric kind of said, against the Miami matchup. He can exploit it, and they probably will play a bit more zone coverage to where they can beat it.
I think we can all agree, though, Everett out of this group is the must-start for all of us. I'm also with you, J. Rich, man. I'm just going to go with Mooney, right? Like, I've seen Dubs not do stuff before, and to your point, man, week one, I saw the Lions, when they played man, lock up Devontae Smith, and he did absolutely nothing. So I'm going to go Mooney and just hope he gets a big play. Like, I think there's a situation where Dubs doesn't do anything at all. I also saw that Christian Watson is expected to play, so I don't know how much that factors in. Not like he's been good, but it's just another option for them. So Everett and Mooney for me, but Everett definitely a must start. Hope that helped you out, Jerry. Order 66 got another one. Mooney, Duvernay, or Zay Jones. We get another Darnell Mooney question here. Jay Rich, do you still like Mooney out of this one?
I think I prefer Duvernay, actually. It's very close, though. Duvernay, I think, whether we like it or not, he will be heavily involved in the offense. No Demarcus Robinson. Already talked about no Bateman. They're going to have to find ways to get somebody the ball, and it's probably going to be Duvernay. Maybe we see some Prochet a little bit. But I think the bigger thing is the usage in the red zone for Duvernay is really where it kind of makes a difference for me. Zay Jones, we'll see. The Raiders are more susceptible to the slot, so I expect Christian Kirk to have a big game. And Mooney is just, I like him. I don't think I like him more than Duvernay, though.
All right, Eric.
Yeah, I like Duvernay as well. They're going to have to rely on him quite a bit. He also gets some carries, too. He might get, rushing touchdown on an end around or something like. So I go with Duvernay.
Adam.
Yeah, basically to that similar point. I think, especially with the way that Andrews is out, Bateman's out for the year, not only I think is Duvernay going to get some red zone work and be someone they rely on heavily, he's a guy that is easily you can manufacture touches for a guy like Duvernay in his role. So I think he's going to get more work than we've seen him even in other weeks.
I'm with you guys, man. As much as I want to praise Darnell Mooney, I'm still going to start Devin Duvernay if I'm in this spot. So order 66, unanimous. Let's go, Devin Duvernay. Fire him up. How about this gross one from our guy DB? Jerick McKinnon or Henderson? Adam, make this crusty ass decision here.
Well, this one's gross. Also, Akers, after all the craziness, is back. He claims he never wanted to leave the team. I don't think he's going to play a lot of snaps, but I think he's going to play maybe enough to make Henderson even more gross than he's been. I guess for that reason, I'll roll McKinnon. But it's honestly, I don't feel good about either one of these guys, Barry. Like, if there's any way, shape, or form you can get possibly a different body, I'd try it.
Eric.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Tom Kennedy on this one. I think you go to your waiver wire and you pick up Tom Kennedy and just start him over both of these guys. If I had to choose between one of these guys, I'll go McKinnon.
All right. Jay Rich.
Yeah, I'm rolling with McKinnon too. I think he's the best option.
Pretty simple for a disgusting question. Yes, I would take McKinnon just because Akers being back. I'm pretty sure they called up Rivers again from the practice squad, so now it's even more of a clusterfuck. It's just give me Jerick McKinnon. Not like KC's a better situation with what they got going on there with the running back room, but I just feel better about it. We got Kooksy in the building. Cole World is here. What's going on? Kooksy asks, Deion Jackson or B-Rob? Jay Rich, go ahead and kick this one off. Deion Jackson,
pure volume. B-Rob, plotter. He may get his carries. I'm not betting on that. Give me Deion Jackson.
Eric.
Yep, Jackson, pretty easy. Robinson's snap share has gone down every single week since he's first started, so I'm going with Jackson.
Adam.
Yeah, B-Rob is who we thought he is, and Deion Jackson, I would say, like Eric would tell you, buy a solar system here.
I'm with you, man. Deion Jackson by a solar system. Adam, you hit it on the point. B-Rob is who we thought he was. Not very good. Bear down. Who would you guys start in PPR? Zay Jones, Drake London, DeAndre Carter. He's starting Mariota, but not sure if that makes a difference with the pass volume. All right. Go ahead. Hit it off there, Adam.
I have such a hard time putting Drake London in a lineup, especially at wide receiver. Like with Kyle Pitts, you may just not have a better tight end option. You almost always have a receiver that's guaranteed more work. I think I'm going to go with Zay Jones. I'm worried, like Jay Rich said, though, that it's going to be a Kirk game. Carter, somebody that could get some work, and that offense needs pass-catching weapons, but I just feel better with Zay Jones personally.
Eric?
If you're starting Mariota, I would just roll out Drake London. Like, all these guys are probably pretty similar points-wise, in my opinion. So I'm just going to throw London out. And I also think this is one of the highest over-unders on the week, too. So highest scoring game, I'm going to go with Drake London.
Jay Rich.
So I think I would go with Zay Jones, and it's just because I think he has the best shot of scoring a touchdown. Eric, you kind of touched on the over-under thing. The bigger problem with Drake London is that the Chargers have one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. We know that the Falcons will run it, and so why would they pass the ball when they should have no problem running it? That's the only fear for me. With London, Carter, again, I don't hate it because I think they will pass the ball a lot. Herbert throws the ball the most in the NFL. There's going to be a lot of opportunities. It's just, will they go to Carter? I'm not sure. I think I'm between Zay Jones and Carter. I think I would just lean on Jones because he's probably going to get a little bit more volume and probably has a better shot at the touchdown.
This one's just a pure mental state. Like, what mental state do I want to be in at the end of the week? If I put in one of these Zay Jones or DeAndre Carter and they do nothing and Drake London scores a touchdown, I'll never forgive myself. So I'll just go ahead and start Drake London. Like, these guys are all gross. They're all gross, and I'll just start Drake London because I feel better about the name. Period. Half PPR, which two would you sit? Swift versus Green Bay, Jamal versus Green Bay, Gibson versus Minnesota, Jacobs versus Jacksonville, Deontay Foreman versus Cincinnati, Demont versus Miami. Pretty sure who I'm rolling with, but thanks, guys. Man, Colworth gave them all. So we got Swift, Jamal Williams, Gibson, Jacobs, Deontay Foreman, and David Montgomery. Which two are you going to bench, Jay Rich?
I think I'm benching Swift and Gibson is what I'm looking at right now. I think that's just kind of how I see it. Gibson should be fine. I just don't want to play Swift on limited volume. I'm not benching Jamal. Maybe you can make the case for David Montgomery, but it's probably between Montgomery and Gibson for me. I get wanting to roll Swift out there, but It's difficult, man. It's really hard for me to do that. I think I would be benching Swift and probably Gibson because I think he's not going to get as much work as Demon will.
Eric.
I think I'm gonna go Swift and Montgomery here. I'm pretty sure McKissick is out, so Gibson should get that whole full receiving load there.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah, so I think that's why I would go with Gibson over Montgomery, even though Montgomery has the receiving role there. I just think Herbert's going to eat into him too much, where I think Gibson is probably going to be like the 65-70% share of the Washington backfield.
Adam.
Yeah, so I'm gonna actually pull the Eric Vanek here. I'm gonna roll both Jamal and Swift. I think here's the thing with Swift. I'm very worried about the volume as well. But you got to remember he was out 4 weeks. They were working him in this last week. I think if this week here looks like volume of the week prior, I'm gonna be scared. But he did get 55% of the snaps. It's just the work went to Jamal Williams. If he gets up to a 60% snap share this week, like you might regret setting Swift. I understand if you want to do it. So for me, I'm gonna play those guys. I'm gonna sit David Montgomery, and I'm going to sit Gibson. Eric's right. Gibson's probably going to get some work. I'm just not all that bullish on that offense as a whole. So I think I'll take the combination of the Detroit backfield and just sit those guys in Gibson and in DMont.
Ooh, all right. Well, I'm with you, Eric, man. I'm benching Swift. I'm benching David Montgomery. Gibson's the best back out of all of these listed here. Number one, the stud, the true. You got to play him. You got to play Gibson. But yeah, I just Swift versus Jamal, if we have this conversation, just these two, I'm going to play Jamal Williams over DeAndre Swift. Like, I've reached that point with DeAndre Swift until I see him fully healthy and start to get to work. So Swift, Demont, bench those two. For me, that's where I'm at. Start the rest of them. Oh, Twin Caliber UK, he's got one. Hey, guys, half PPR, pick 2 for wide receiver 2 and flex. A-Rob, Juju, London. Adam, pick 2 of these guys.
Juju and A-Rob versus London is pretty gross. I'm going to take A-Rob and hope for a better chance of a touchdown, but both of those have been disappointing.
Eric?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Juju and probably Robinson. I know Tampa's secondary is really banged up still, so I think I'm just going to lean it that way. Go Juju and A-Rob. But Juju's easy here. That's a must start.
Jay Rich?
Yeah, I'm the same. Juju and A-Rob. I just can't start London. It's not even a good matchup. I think he could have some trouble with that secondary. It's close though. Like the Rams are 16th against wide receivers. The Chargers are 19th. So, or sorry, the Bucks are 23rd, and the what is it? The Chargers are 19th. It's close. I just think you got to go with A-Rob, but I don't like either option to be honest.
I'm definitely starting Juju. I'm with all you guys on that one. The A-Rob London thing. I guess I'm gonna go A-Rob. Like I guess that's how far down Drake London is, where A-Rob is now. Like, I guess we'll go ahead and get him.
Oh boy, we got a super chat and we got a tough one, gentlemen. What are we gonna do here, Mike? You want to start, or you want to give it to someone else?
I'll go ahead and start it, man. Start one PPR flex, DeAndre Swift or Jacoby Myers. In full PPR, I'm gonna go ahead and roll out Jacoby Myers. That's sad to say, but that's where I'm at. Adam, can you do it as well, buddy?
Nah.
Come on.
DeAndre Swift. I'm not doing that.
Come on.
I don't see the high upside in Jacoby Myers. I know Swift maybe doesn't have high upside, but he's been the most efficient player in the NFL on his touches, something like over 8.8 yards every time he touches the ball. So
All six of them.
I'll take it. I'll take it, man.
All 6 of them. Eric, who you got? DeAndre Swift, Jacoby Myers.
I gotta go with Myers on this one. I mean, I don't see Swift touching the ball over 10 times. I would take the under on 10 touches. So I can't start a guy that I know is going to get less than 10 touches on that. So I'm going to go with Myers.
Jay Rich?
I'm going with DeAndre Swift. The Colts have the best, best fantasy points allowed to opposing slot receivers. So, yeah, you don't want to go against Kenny Moore any week, and Jacoby Myers should see him a lot this week. I will be starting DeAndre Swift.
And real quick, last point to talk about volume. You're worried about Swift getting the ball 6 times. In his game logs, you got 4 catches week 1, 4 catches and 2 catches, all as scenarios. So, like, it's not like he's a surefire thing to get 10 touches. Like, he's got 9 touches twice as his most. So,
yeah, we wouldn't be here if he didn't take a shot at my boy Antonio Gibson just a few minutes ago.
Got to do it.
Here we go. We got a really gross one here. Khalif Raymond. Welcome to the show, Khalif Raymond. I think this is the first ever Khalif Raymond question we've had, or DeAndre Carter. J. Rich, Khalif or DeAndre?
I'm starting DeAndre Carter. They have nobody there. I think you just have to roll him out. Sounds gross, but someone's got to get the ball. DeAndre Carter will probably see his 5 to 7 targets. And I'd be willing to bet he does something good with them, because the bigger thing for me is that if Josh Palmer plays outside, I think he could struggle a little bit. But Atlanta's defense against wide receivers, worst in the NFL, over 1,700 yards allowed to wide receivers this season, or I think it's 1,730, most in the NFL. The only team that's up over 1,700 is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're on bye this week. Start DeAndre Carter.
Eric.
Yeah, I mean, the Lions don't have anybody to give the ball to either, so it's tough. I mean, Raymond's going to play on the outside, so I wonder if Jared Alexander's on him by default, and if that's the case, that's kind of scary. I guess I'll go with J. Rich on this one and go with Carter in the slot there.
Adam.
Yeah, I'm going with DeAndre Carter here. I mean, they're not, neither one of them sexy, but I think that I would have a higher upside with DeAndre Carter, given all the points J. Rich made and that he, with Herbert throwing the football. So I'm going to take Carter.
Yeah, they're both gross, but I will take DeAndre Carter too. Just give me the guy with the better quarterback, and I just hope he finds him for a touchdown or something, some big play down the field. I think it'll be more likely for DeAndre Carter. Not saying Khalif Raymond can't, but if I got to choose between the two, give me Carter. All right, half PPR, need one start for my RB2. Khalil Herbert, Mostert, Eno, Adam.
Man, this one's tough. In the Khalil Herbert versus Mostert game, that's interesting there. I like Eno too. These are all not bad RB2 spot starts. I think I'm going to go with Herbert. There's something about the way he's been running and the potential for him to get even a little more work this week, but possibly for me, that makes me want to say Khalil Herbert here.
All right, Eric.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Herbert as well. The Bears have been running the ball really well. I like Mostert, but I just don't know how much Jeff Wilson is going to creep in there, so it kind of scares me a little bit. So I think I'm going to go Herbert too.
J. Rich.
I'm going to be rolling with Mostert, because I just believe he's going to get the work. The Bears have allowed like the second most rushing attempts per game on the season. Whether you believe it's Mostert, Jeff Wilson, I think both get work. Mostert gets the majority of the carries. I like him a lot in this one. Khalil Herbert should be fine. I just like Mostert a little bit better.
I would say it's close between Herbert and Mostert for me, but I am going to go Mostert as well, just because it's the Bears defense. Jeff Wilson is just now coming over, so we got to see how he actually gets acclimated into it. And if I'm really looking at it, the guy behind Khalil Herbert or Raheem Mostert, one's David Montgomery, the other one's Jeff Wilson. I feel better about the Jeff Wilson guy actually getting more of the work.
The last point, too, because I think it's really close for me, and I think this is a tough question and a hard one for you. So, like, if you wanted to go with Mostert over Herbert, like, I get it. For me, I'd take Herbert. The one thing to keep in mind is we saw how great Tony Pollard looked last week, right, versus that team.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even have a ton of points, or just touches, I'm sorry. So, like, just keep that in mind with Mostert, too, because he's got the speed.
And Adam, no Roquan this week, right?
No
so
Roquan,
even another factor into that defense. They could be really bad now.
Yeah.
They got even worse. They got even worse.
Damn it, they
somehow.
talked me into it. I'm going to go with Mostert to break the tie.
There it is. Start Dillon or London. Ooh, Adam. Dillon or London, baby.
Man, you talk about the disappointing. Like, if you had these guys on your best ball team, you're thinking, I'm set, and now you're like, oh, these guys stink. Gosh, I think I'm gonna actually take London. Dude, I'm good on Dillon, bro. I'm so good on Dillon.
Eric?
Yeah, I think I'm going to start Tom Kennedy on this one. I think I'm going to go A.J. Dillon. I know it's gross, but I think I'm going to go Dillon. Hopefully he can get in there in the end zone. Green Bay should be able to move the ball a little bit on Detroit's defense, so give me Dillon.
J. Rich.
Dillon by a mile. Come on, Adam. Like, seriously, this is the Lions we're talking about here. One of the worst rushing defenses in the NFL.
I know.
You want to start a guy whose quarterback is Marcus Mariota over that guy.
But I get you, but here's the problem. Even though that defense is bad, A.J. Dillon's giving you nothing in yards on the ground with all those carries. The only way is if he scores a touchdown. That's the only way. He's got one touchdown on the year. He's got one touchdown on the year.
New week, new matchup, and he's got the Lions. And in the Dome. The Green Bay kills the Lions in the Dome almost every time. This is the get right game. This is the get right game. If he doesn't do it this game, then you can be out. But in my opinion, at least, against the Lions, they're third in fantasy points allowed to running back position. Aaron Jones will get his. We know that, and I think that AJ Dillon should be just fine.
Okay.
Versus London, who might get
I'll just
4
say this.
targets. You know what I'm saying?
I'll just say this. I hear you, but even with that point, because that's baked in for me, I've seen games where he's had 17, 18 touches, and if you're not getting points per carry, that's 6 points for you. Like it doesn't mean much for me unless he gets in the end zone. My only problem with Dillon.
What would you project for London? 4 for 30, so like 7 points.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, he's had games though where he's had a lot of passing volume too. Like I think there's a higher upside. Yeah, I do think so. But I get it if you play Dillon. They're both bad. I'm not going to fight you. You know.
They're both really bad, but we gotta pick somebody.
Just pick up Tom Kennedy and start Tom Kennedy.
There you go. See, Eric might even have the right answer.
They're both disgusting, but I'm gonna play Dillon because it's against the Lions, and I think he's more likely to trip and fall into the end zone at some point than Drake London would be.
That's probably true. Yep.
That's it. They're disgusting. I probably would just play Tom Kennedy.
We do have super chat here. PPR, no tight end premium. We got Likely, Foster Moreau, Ingram, Higbee. We got all the tight ends to discuss. Eric?
Man, this one's tough. I think I'm still going to go Likely here just because it's really just Duvernay and Likely there. I like Moreau. He got a lot of targets last week, so Moreau and Likely were the two I was going between. I mean, Ingram's pretty decent. Higbee's been pretty decent, but I think with Van Jefferson and some of these other wide receivers getting in there, I think I'll be okay on not starting Higbee. But yeah, I think I'm going to go Likely there just because there's really nobody else there.
Jay Rich?
I think I'm going to roll with Tyler Higbee, actually. The Bucs have been allowing 70 receiving yards per game to the tight end, a little bit more, surprisingly, than the Raiders. A lot of people talking about the Raiders and their defense versus tight end, but it came off the back of Travis Kelce's 4-touchdown game, and that's the big outlier statistically there. So from a yardage standpoint, the Bucs have actually been worse than the Raiders. So I do kind of like that matchup a little bit more. I think I would roll with Higbee. He's been getting the volume, target share. I get guys are back, but he's got to make plays if they're going to win this game, and so I think he's going to be able to do that in this one.
Yeah, Mike?
Man, you gave out that great analysis on Tyler Higbee, making me rethink it, because when I'm looking at this, he'd be the dead last one that I'd want to start out of these guys.
And he was blocking a lot last week, so it kind of makes me think that they're kind of using him as a blocker more now.
This comes down to Likely and Moreau for me. I'm just going to roll out Foster Moreau. I usually have good things whenever Darren Waller's out and Moreau's healthy. So
what, you don't like Ingram? Ingram's been solid. He's been good.
He's been all right. He's been all right. It's still Evan Ingram, man. Let's not get crazy.
I mean, here's the thing. I think this is a tough one because, like, I could actually, if you told me I got to make the case for one of these guys, I could do it, right? The thing with Foster Moreau for me is Jay Rich made a great point. The reason that team is bad versus tight ends is you got 4 touchdowns, Travis Kelce. You look at the rest, it's actually not that appealing.
Yeah, that's on the Ingram side though, right? Because Ingram's playing Vegas this week.
I say Moreau? I apologize. I meant Ingram.
But yeah, like that is a big factor. But I do think, like, Mike, it's funny you say that because for me it would probably be Higbee, Ingram, Likely, and then Moreau last because I don't know what I'm going to get from him. Right? I think Ingram's been consistent. I like what Higbee has done, and the matchup is good. And then Likely we'll see, and Moreau is kind of a newer piece to fantasy right now. I think I need more consistency from him.
Yeah, my bad, I misspoke there. But with Higbee, for me, it's Higbee and Likely. So Likely, I think, offers this, like, if you believe and you're willing to say what you saw last week with all the weapons down and you're willing to buy that, I think you could make the case very strongly for Likely. For me, I'm actually going to go with Jay Rich here and go with Higbee. I know last week he didn't get as much volume, but overall, if you look at the body of his work, he's gotten a ton of volume, and I think that's a spot where he can smash. So none of these guys I don't think offer crazy upside unless Likely gets insane amount of work. So I'm going to go with Higbee.
Here's my one thing with Higbee from last week that I took. He played 40 snaps. He only ran 15 routes on those snaps compared to, like, Kupp's running 38 routes, Allen Robinson 34. Van Jefferson came back his first week, 23 routes run. Skoranek, 19 routes run. Higbee is just kind of being used more as a blocker again, so that's why I'm a little weary on him.
I'm hoping that's just that McVay really gets in his own head whenever he plays against the Niners, and that was just a fluke day.
Yeah.
We're all missing the big point. The real answer is play best ball.
Boom.
That's the real fucking answer.
On MFL, I agree.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. How about this one? Deshaun Jackson or Mac, I assume this is Mac Hollins. Bye weeks suck. Yes, they do. This is the most gross question we've ever had on this show so far.
I knew we would get one of these today. I didn't know it'd be this bad, but this is it. The worst question we've seen by far. Holy shit, man.
Can you start Deshaun Jackson?
You can't. I was just gonna
And you got
say,
Monday Night Football. Like, you can't pivot off of that.
no. I'm 100% with you, Jay Rich. As gross as it is, like to sit here and say it's easily Matt Collins is something I never thought I'd say because I didn't think I'd be saying his name on a start sit ever this year. So, it's easily Matt Collins.
Wasn't Matt Collins a center on the Nets back in the day?
I don't know.
I
We
think
had a
so.
Jason Collins. I know
Jason
that
Collins
much.
on the
Maybe it
Nets.
was
Yeah.
Jason Collins
Yeah.
I'm thinking of. All right.
But Matt Collins, yeah.
Yeah, Matt Collins easy by about 14 solar systems.
J. Rich? Mac?
Yeah, it's Matt Collins. You know, he's got 44 receptions 2 weeks ago, 64 the week before that. I mean, he's been fine. Start him again. Why not? But yeah, just can't trust Deshaun. I just can't do it.
This means Deshaun's going to suit up and score like 2 long touchdowns. We're all
And
gonna
if he
be
does,
idiots.
I'll live with it.
Yeah.
I'll live with it and play basketball.
Yep.
Ah, shit. Here we go. Let's get crusty. Jamal Williams, because he's starting Swift. It's Dynasty, Alex. Of course he's starting Swift. Terrace Marshall, Eno Benjamin, Foster Moreau. Pick 2 PPR, half-point tight end premium. Or 1 PPR, half-point tight end premium. Jay Rich. Jamal Williams, he's already starting Swift. You can't talk him out of it. Terrace Marshall, Eno Benjamin, Foster Moreau. PPR, half-point tight end premium. Pick 2 of these dudes.
Oh man, I mean, I'm starting Jamal Williams for sure. Am I really gonna say Terrace Marshall? Like, I haven't even acknowledged his ascension because I don't even want to go there.
Right.
Right against the Falcons, 4 receptions, 87 yards. What is he gonna do this week? I don't fucking know, man. I don't know how many targets he's gonna get, but I don't necessarily believe in Moreau either. But I think I'm going with Terrace Marshall. Jamal and Terrace Marshall. I don't know why, but I think that's where I'm going.
Eric.
Yeah, I think I was kind of leaning the same way Jay Rich is. Do you know who the Bengals starting corners are today? Because they're so beat up.
That's yes.
It's
there's
Eli Apple and
yeah.
Dax Hill. And Dax Hill has never played. Dax Hill has never played corner before.
Right.
Wasn't he a safety for the?
Yeah, for Michigan.
Exactly.
Oh my
So
god!
I could see playing Terrace Marshall. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go Jamal and Terrace Marshall. I was thinking about Moreau, too, because he does get targeted a lot, but, F it. I'm going to go with Terrace Marshall.
Adam.
Yes. So I want to say that this one for me is pretty easily Terrace Marshall. So don't overthink this, Alex. And I'll tell you why. The last 2 weeks, his snap share as a receiver, Terrace Marshall, is 86 and 93%. Right. So he's playing all the snaps. And then if you remember, if you go back 2 weeks and you're going to be like, he didn't have a great game 2 weeks ago, but he had a great game last week. Well, why not 2 weeks ago? They actually beat the Bucs 21-3. The last thing that team who sucks is going to do is start throwing the ball when they're up 21-3. I think that he's actually in a spot where he's going to smash because Cincy's secondary is abysmal. Like, I think he has a much better shot of high ceiling than anybody else on this list.
Yeah,
I'm going with you guys, man. Jamal Williams and Terrace Marshall. Isn't it weird to say too that Robbie Anderson was the one standing in his way, and then once he was gone, all it took was PJ Walker to unlock the true potential of some people's rookie wide receiver 1.
They had to get,
Imagine saying that 2 months ago.
they had to get
Insane,
Baker out of there, man. We actually got a super chat here. DJM or Chris Godwin? Whoa, we wouldn't even know it's a bye week here. This is a good question. Mike, what do you think?
I'm riding the DJ Moore train until those wheels fall off. No question about it. He's in locked in starter every single week. Period.
All right, Jay Rich.
Oh, this is actually really hard. I think I'm gonna go with Chris Godwin though. Not because I don't believe in DJ Moore, just Chris Godwin's volume has been insane. He's had double-digit targets each of the past 3 weeks, up against the Rams, who have actually not been that great versus wide receivers this season. So I think I am going to go with Godwin. I understand why you want to go DJ Moore, and I definitely understand the concerns with the secondary, but I am concerned that we see a lot of Deontay Foreman in this one, and they're not playing the Falcons this week. Last week, Falcons, worst defense in the league. They're not playing the Falcons this week, so I think I will go with Chris Godwin and his volume, which should be a little bit higher than DJ Moore's.
Eric?
What is this, like a start 5 league? Man, how can you have this many buys and injuries and be able to sit both these guys? That's crazy. If I have to pick one, I think I'm gonna go DJ Moore. Just last question. Bengals secondary is so beat up. I love Godwin too. I want to play him everywhere I can, but I think I'm gonna go DJ just on the big playability in this one against that shitty secondary.
Yeah, this is really tough. I actually love both these guys this week. Chris Godwin's volume's been insane. So, like, for me to sit him, it's incredible to say that I want to sit him of these two, because sitting Godwin when he's getting all those targets, it just seems ridiculous. But that defense, the way DJ Moore's looked, I'm going to lean him here. But this one's crazy tough. We actually got another super chat, though, gentlemen, to get to. Garrett, we appreciate it, buddy. Half PPR, need 3 of these bums: Hilliard, J-Rob, Rashad White, Tyquan, Tony, Claypool, Conklin. Floor matters, but I'm playing a monster. God help me, bye week suck. That's a lot of guys to get through. He's got to play 3.
Oh my gosh.
Have you read it all and had a chance to think about it? We'll start with you, Eric.
Man, let's see.
Do we have a consensus on any one guy? I think Tony would be one I'd have to play.
Man, this is hard as hell. Like, I think I'm playing Tony too. I'm with you, Jay Rich.
Yeah, if you're playing against a monster, yeah, probably Tony. I really think Conklin could have a really good game too, because they're going to have to throw against Buffalo. So I think I would go Tony, Conklin, and man, give me Dontrell Hilliard. I know Jay Rich is going to talk about him, so give me Dontrell Hilliard.
Yeah, all right. So, Jay Rich?
Yeah, definitely going with Dontrell Hilliard. The Kansas City Chiefs do have a good run defense, and they are the worst defense against pass-catching running backs. That means good things for Hilliard. We know that Mahomes will probably put up a ton of points on Tennessee, which has the worst pass defense in the league. I think it's a great spot for Hilliard to have a great game. J-Rob also nursing a bit of an injury, and Rashad White, just can't trust him, man. He doesn't get enough volume. Tyquan, maybe. Claypool, don't hate it for what it's worth. I think he's going to get some opportunities, but it will be limited. That's why you wouldn't go that route. But I think that Hilliard, Tony, and Conklin are 3 great options amongst this list, at least.
Conklin, definitely start for me. I'm with you guys, too, about the Tony thing. Like, I just want to fire him up and see. Like, we're going to fire him up and see what happens. It comes down to me between Tyquan and Claypool. Those are the 2 guys. I'm going to go with Tyquan Thornton, though. Just to piss Eric off. Give me Tyquan Thornton.
I love it. I think Conklin is one that I want to start, but I'm going to choose to sit him because it doesn't tell me that it's a tight end premium, and he's had some games that are a little scarier. Because there's no tight end premium, I'm actually going to go Tony. I think he has the highest upside, and he says here, I'm playing a monster. I got to try to catch him. So Tony for me is an instant one. I'm going to take Claypool because I think that's another guy that could offer the high ceiling. And then I'm going to take Hilliard as a guy here for my third one. So I'm going to go Tony, Claypool, and Hilliard.
Oh, baby. Wow. That was a good question, though. Thanks, Garrett, for the super chat.
That's a tough one, buddy.
Appreciate
thanks
it,
for
buddy.
the super chat, man.
All right, so we got a little bit easier one here. Pick 3, half PPR. Swift, Patterson, Khalil, Kenyon, Drake. Go ahead and kick it off, Adam.
I'm definitely starting Swift and Khalil here. Kenyon, Drake, and Patterson. I think I'm going to sit Patterson, being back and all that. I guess I want to see before I do that. I'm gonna play Drake in this spot here. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Khalil Herbert for sure. Probably just give me Swift and Patterson. I can't really trust Kenyon Drake over those guys, so I'll go Swift, Patterson, Khalil.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Patterson too. I'm benching Drake. He's been healthy. He's been back. He's been practicing all week. I think he's good to go. And against the worst or second worst rushing defense in the league, you just can't sit him. Drake, I just got to sit him. I think and again, Swift, you want to bench him, be my guess, but I'd still start Swift over Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, I talk shit about DeAndre Swift, but I'll still start him over Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake can ride the pine. So easy
enough.
One here. Sit on the bench, Kenyon. Ryan's got one. What's up, guys? Should I start Carr or Heineke this week? 12-team Superflex PPR. Could also start Tom Brady. And then his second question, sit Swift for Drake. We answered that one. I don't think anybody's sitting Swift for Drake. But let's help him out with the quarterbacks. Carr, Heineke, or we'll throw in there Tom Brady as well. Jay Rich, we'll start with you. Carr, Heineke, Tom Brady.
This is really tough for me because I don't really want to start Derek Carr this week. Jacksonville isn't great, but they're not bad either. And Carr's been awful. I think I would just roll with Heineke. He's been really good. Like, it sounds disgusting, but there's literally no reason not to start him, in my opinion. I just think he's going to be fine. He's not going to be great. Doesn't have a massive ceiling that maybe Carr could have, but I don't trust Derek Carr at all. And Tom Brady's been awful. Like, I'm not starting Tom Brady. I think I'd roll with Heineke, even though it sounds gross, but it's a gross week. Give me Taylor Heineke.
Eric?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Heineke as well. Just fucking roll him out there. Fuck it.
Shit. Adam.
Man, yeah. Dude, here's the thing. I'm not doing Derek Carr. 0 points last week. Waller's still not back. I don't know why you would think that would change this week, personally. Brady's been so bad, so I'm not going to play him over Heineke. I'm going to stay with Heineke, but, like, I don't know. This one's really gross, man. I just got to go with Heineke here.
I'm not doing this Taylor Heineke shit ever again. Ever. I thought it was done last year, and here we are again. I'm not starting Taylor Heineke. I'll start Derek Carr. I'll be the guy. I'll be the guy who believes in Derek Carr.
Yeah.
You guys could either, in a few hours, you could tell me, see, you're an idiot, or I will just kindly not rub it in anyone's face that I was the only one to believe in Derek Carr when he goes off for 3-4 touchdowns.
Why don't you be a man and take Tom Brady?
No.
Man.
J. Rich, no. Tanyan or Taysom Hill? Adam. Bob Tanyan, Taysom Hill. Who you got?
Taysom Hill feels like one of the harder guys to start. Like I want to, but it's like you don't know what's going to happen every week. I think I'm going to go ahead and play Taysom Hill. Tanyan's been, someone that's actually been somewhat reliable if there is anyone in Green Bay. I'm not going to fight you if you took Tanyan here. I guess I'm going to roll Taysom Hill, though.
Eric?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Taysom Hill as well. He's pretty much their goal line back now, so he got a probably better shot at a touchdown. So I'm gonna go with Taysom.
J. Rich?
Yeah, I actually like both, but yeah, Adam, you say it's hard to start Taysom Hill. I think it's the opposite. I think it's hard to bench Taysom Hill because you don't want to bench him for one of those boom weeks, right?
Yeah,
but,
true. Right, right.
For me, it's very close. I do like Tanyan. I think the matchup is great, especially if they play a lot of man coverage against Green Bay. But it's got to be Taysom Hill because he's the only one on this list that could get you like 30 points.
Right.
And I don't think Rob Tanyan's going to be doing that.
That's a great point. He's one of the few tight ends that actually offers like the high ceiling just because of the
passing
crazy
upside, rushing upside, receiving upside. But like a true tight end probably should.
Like the Christian McCaffrey of last week at tight end.
Yeah.
There's only a handful of fucking tight ends that I want to bench Taysom Hill for, and Bob fucking Tanyan ain't one of them. So Taysom Hill, let's go. Yeah. Mark Andrews being out, that list got even smaller. Taysom Hill's up there. What is he? Tight end 2 on the week? Let's go.
Could be easily.
Him or Kittle, yeah.
He could be, man. Let's go ahead. Fire up Taysom Hill. How do we feel about Zay Jones as a spot start? Flex PPR forced to because of bye week. Yeah, well, a lot of us are forced to start some really gross shit if you haven't seen Dark Ninja. Zay Jones, feeling good about him. Jay Rich, you touched on it a little bit earlier, the whole Christian Kirk slot thing.
Yeah, it feels like a better matchup for Kirk. But again, if you're not really giving us much context, so sure, start him. Like he should be fine. I think the Jags probably win this game, unfortunately for the Raiders.
Yeah, I think the thing is like there's much grosser receivers that are going to be in lineups this week than Zay Jones. Yeah. I think that's the reality.
How about this one? A real question. Zay Jones or Claypool? If you got to make the choice here.
I'm going to play Claypool here. I don't know what you guys say.
Eric?
It's close.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with Zay Jones. He knows their playbook. Revenge game against the Raiders, too. Come on.
Oh, Eric, the revenge game. I didn't even think of that.
The revenge game narrative. I never thought of that one. Fuck, I want Zay Jones over. Zay Jones, wide receiver 1. Nailed it. Let's go.
Revenge game.
He has not been good. He's been bad. Man, hasn't had more than 54 yards in the last 4 games, but he did see 10 targets in that game. It
means he's due,
tough.
Man.
I don't think we can say a guy like Zay Jones is ever due, but he has some good games every now and then.
I think the question actually for Dr. B. Harris, I know he's somebody that watches our stuff too. I would say this. I think for me, it depends on what you need and what your team is, right? If you are looking for someone with high ceiling, like the question we had prior, I think it's Claypool here pretty easily. But if you have a very good team and you're just looking for points, like Zay Jones safer.
All right.
Yeah, I think I would pick Claypool personally. I'm
Yep.
shooting for that ceiling. I think he's going to be running multiple go routes in this game, and I think that Fields won't be afraid to throw him. Again, may not be a ton of snaps, but I think he will get opportunities. It's just can he convert on those opportunities versus Zay Jones, who we'll see what he gets this week. Another 30 yards incoming. Great for all those fantasy lineups.
I'm more willing to bank on a guy like Claypool just to be surprised about how well he played, because I think there's a possibility it would come in where Zay Jones just kind of feels ceiling capped, where it's, yeah, give me Claypool. How about this gross ass one? Andy Dalton or Mac Jones? Jay Rich, Andy Dalton, Mac Jones. Good
Andy
Lord.
Dalton, easily.
Oh man,
Dude, come on. Are you serious? Have you seen Mac Jones play lately? There's no way I'm starting Mac Jones. And Andy Dalton's actually been good. Like, say what you want about Andy Dalton. He's been just fine. Their receiving core is now locked and loaded for what it's going to be rest of the season. Rashid Shaheed, probably going to continue to be more involved in the offense, running those deep routes, making the plays. Give me Andy Dalton all day. Not even close.
oh baby, Eric.
And he might get Jarvis Landry back this week, too. He's been limited all week. I don't know if he's going to play, but a possibility. And Kamara's been really, really good when Dalton's been in there, too. He's been throwing the ball to Kamara quite a bit. So, yeah, Andy Dalton pretty easily.
Adam.
Full agreement. I mean, it's crazy because, if you just think about names, you're going to see Andy Dalton, but like he's actually been for fantasy good for, a spot start type quarterback or a super flex type quarterback. I think Mac Jones for me is I really don't want to roll him out there, honestly.
I mean, even when Andy Dalton goes out and throws 7 pick sixes in one game, still puts
Still
up fantasy
QB2.
numbers. Still puts up fantasy numbers. It's probably because the Saints are so bad that they just have to play all out, balls out every single play, just because they're horrible. And thank God the Eagles own their pick. Idiots. Yeah, I'll play Andy Dalton. Why not? Why not? This is an interesting one. I've never seen a .35 PPR league. Very interesting scoring setting here with a half-point PPR bonus for tight end. Eno or Likely in this format? Adam.
I think didn't we have this question before? It just wasn't with the crazy scoring. So
Yeah.
I guess with the crazy scoring, I don't think it really changes a whole lot for me. I think I'm gonna go with Eno, but like I totally get it with Likely if you want to shoot for the upside with him.
Eric?
I think I'm likely going to go Likely.
Like that.
Jay Rich.
Yeah, I'm going Likely too. I think this .35 PPR is just not enough to not take the bonus of the tight end. Eno in a PPR I think is much more usable. Connor is expected to play, so that doesn't help his rushing floor either. And so if you're only getting .35 per reception, it's not enough for me to take Eno Benjamin in this one. I'd be going Likely too and praying that he gets like 10 targets in this game.
All right, yeah, I'm with you guys. I'll go Isaiah Likely here as well. How about another tight end question? Hawkinson or Conklin, half PPR? Jay Rich, we'll start with you.
I think I'm going to go with Conklin, although I am encouraged. They're talking like Hawkinson's going to play a lot and be involved. I'm kind of interested to see it, but I think, to Eric's point earlier, Conklin should be in a very positive game script for pretty much the whole game, whether it's Mike White out there or Zach Wilson. I don't really care. Someone's going to get Conklin the ball, and he's probably going to see 6 targets plus on the game pretty easily. Give me Tyler Conklin.
Eric?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Conklin as well, but it's pretty close for me. I think Hawkinson could, get featured quite a bit being on this new team, but I think Conklin could have one of those like 10 for 100 and maybe a touchdown that he all gets in like the fourth quarter kind of game. So give me Conklin.
Go ahead, Adam.
Man, I think this one's tough. I'm going to take the chance on Hawkinson here, I think. The only thing is, like, with New York, that they're not really – he's had these games. He's had two scores last week, right, which was great for him. Like, I don't know how many times they're going to score the ball and if he's going to get one of those, where I do think Hawkinson's going to get a lot of featured work, and they really want to work him in after they just paid what they paid for him. I totally get it if you want to start Conklin and you're unsure about Hawk, though. I want to start Hawk.
I like both. The only reason it's close is just because this is going to be TJ's first game with Minnesota, but I'm still willing to roll him out and just see what they're going to do with him.
Yep.
Here we go. How about some real gross tight ends? Hunter Henry or Jawan Johnson? Adam.
You know what? We answered the quarterback question, so I'm going to do the quarterback thing. I'm going to take the Andy Dalton-led tight end and Juwan Johnson, man.
Eric.
Yeah, this one's close for me too. think I'm gonna lean Hunter Henry because I know Troutman is back too this week.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Troutman's gonna cut into Juwan a little bit. So I think I'm gonna go with Hunter Henry.
That's fair.
Jay Rich?
I think I'm going with Jawan Johnson. I totally hear you, Eric, but Hunter Henry has 2 receptions in the last 2
he hasn't
weeks.
done shit yet.
So that's the biggest problem for me. At least Jawan Johnson had 2 receptions last week, 5 the week prior. I get it. Both of these are probably not great options, even for an awful week, but I think I probably would roll with Jawan Johnson just in case somehow he gets in the end zone, because that will be a big factor. He is a bit of a red zone threat versus Hunter Henry. He can be, but his usage is just super low. They've been using Jonnu Smith a little bit more every week.
This is actually one where Tom Kennedy is the
Yeah, I was
the
just
correct.
gonna say,
Tom Kennedy
especially,
is the play.
I mean, you don't really want to play tight ends in your flex spots ever, to be honest.
Yeah.
Unless they're top 5 options, right?
Yeah.
Agreed.
So if you have somebody else like a running back or receiver, like any of these other guys we've talked about, I'd probably maybe consider one of those.
Tom Kennedy. Tom Kennedy.
Tommy Kennedy. Yeah.
If I got to pick one though, I guess Hunter Henry. I don't care though. I'm moving on to Cincinnati. I'm on to next week because I lost. He has both Higgins and Boyd. Would you put Kirk in over Boyd or roll both Bengals? Jay Rich.
Ooh, that's tough. Higgins and Boyd, man. Oh man. Higgins has been not good. I do trust Boyd though. I think Boyd will be fine. I think I would start Kirk and Boyd. I don't think I would play Higgins this week. Sounds bad, but I just don't think I can do it.
Okay, Eric.
Yeah.
I think I'm just rolling with both Bengals. I think Higgins and Boyd, they're at home. Hopefully they get back on track with Burrow. I think I'm going to go with both of those guys.
Adam.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you why you got to go with the Bengals here. For me personally, is they got a bad taste in their mouth. The Browns just kicked the fucking shit out of them on primetime, and I think Joe Burrow and them are ready to put up some points, and they're playing the fucking Panthers. So that's why I'm going to go with
But the
both
Panthers
Bengals.
aren't bad though.
I
What
know.
if he gets J.C. Horn? Then what's he gonna do? Is he
Fair.
gonna outrun J.C. Horn?
I mean, but they just got embarrassed. Like I think they're gonna be throwing the ball a lot better this week. In my personal
I think the
opinion.
pain train is gonna continue for the Bengals this week. Man.
Oh, if that's the case, that would really suck. I personally think I would do that. I think all 3 are pretty good options this week, though. Personally,
Yeah, they're all good options.
All right. I'm going to go with the Bengals, though. Give me the Bengals. I just roll out the Bengals. We'll try to rapid fire a few off here before lineups lock.
Okay.
Michael Carter or A.J. Dillon? J. Rich, quickly.
AJ Dillon.
Eric.
Carter, and hopefully they pass him the ball, PPR points.
Adam.
Michael Carter not doing AJ Dillon thing.
Give me Dillon. Jesus. Monty or Deion Jackson? Adam.
Deion Jackson.
Eric.
Yeah, Jackson.
Yeah, I'll take Jackson too.
Yeah, we'll go here. All right. Tanyan or Likely, I think we've touched on this one before. Or possibly J. Rich. Go ahead, kick it off.
Yeah, I think I might go Tanyan on this one. I kind of do like Tanyan in the matchup, but both are actually fine. I think no matter which one you go with, he'll be all right.
Eric.
I'm going to go Likely still.
Adam.
I'm going Bob Tanyan. I think it's very close, but I'm going to go Tanyan. I totally get it if you want to go Likely, though.
I'm going to go Likely as well. Very close. Very good one. How about this one? Deion Jackson or DJ Moore? Anybody brave enough to start Deion Jackson over DJ Moore?
Love Deion
No.
Jackson this week, but not this much.
Not that much. All right,
DJ
we found it. How about this one? Michael Bandy, Shaheed, or a cactus? Adam.
You're gonna want the cactus. That's how you're gonna be feeling after the game. You're gonna be putting the cactus all over you, man. It's gonna hurt.
Eric.
Shaheed, pretty easy.
Yeah, Shaheed for sure.
Shaheed for me, too. No question about it. Swift or Eno?
Swift.
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 Like,
Why you had to do
Connor's
that?
Kennedy.
Connor's playing, so
Why do we have to do that? Like now I got this bad taste in my mouth. Speaking of the Bengals.
Pitts or Likely?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. How
give
about
me
this one?
Likely, man. Give me Likely.
Damn it.
Give me Likely. Let's do it.
Speaking of a
Yeah.
cactus, y'all are stabbing me right now.
I think I go Likely as well. I agree.
Derwin James is gonna fuck up Kyle Pitts. You heard it here first.
I'm gonna go with Pitts, but I know that it's probably not the smart answer. So there's my honesty.
Listen, this isn't a question, but remember that gross one we had? Mike really wanted the D-Jacks back.
Mac Hollins.
Mac
Yeah, we said
Hollins.
Mac Collins.
We gotta just appreciate it, Tyler. Super
you,
chat, no
Tyler.
question.
Appreciate it, man. Brady or Fields? Jay Rich.
Fields, not close.
Fields, yeah.
Fields
has been
Fields has been
great.
fantastic in fantasy
Yeah.
lately.
No question about it.
Going for his 5th straight QB1. Let's go.
Let's go, man.
Let's
Tell him,
find
Jay Rich.
one last one here. What's the best one we're gonna
And
end
Tyler
on?
asked Hawkinson or Higby. What's his super chat question?
Oh,
Ooh, Hawkinson or Higbee?
got it. My bad. I didn't see that. You're right. I'm going Hawk here, but I think Higby's in a decent spot too.
Hawk as well.
Eric, I think you scared me off of Higby. I think I'm just gonna say Hawkinson.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Hawkinson as well there.
Let's go, man. We got the Hawkinson one. Last one we got Krusty, Zay Jones or Paris Campbell.
Yeah,
Zay Jones.
Yep.
I don't trust Ellinger. Give me Zay Jones.
Zay Jones. That's gonna do it for us. Jay Rich, thank you so much for joining. It was a great time with you. Eric, always, buddy. You're the third leg of this tripod, and of course, Adam. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate everybody tapping in, all the super chats, all the questions, all the interaction. You guys are what drives this show. Thank you so much. Hopefully, we helped you out, and hopefully, you get a win this week, unless it's against me. Then I hope you lose badly. But we'll see you same time, same place next week. That's going to do it for us. We're going to bounce out of here. Peace.
Peace.